Hi, I'm Jinli. Now I'm in New York, one of the coolest stores in Manhattan, Patricia Field, and I'm sitting next to Patricia Field.
Hi everybody, how are you?
And then people talk about fashion, sexy, really cool, and different artistic. Sex and City, Devil Wears Prada, and 杜拉拉, 升职记 in Chinese.
My profession is not a fortune teller. I said, oh my God, I'm bankrupt. Has no price that can be paid with money.
Patricia Field is an Emmy winner, an Oscar nominee, and one of America's greatest stylists. Over the last 4 decades, Patricia styled popular movies such as Sex and the City, The Devil Wears Prada, and 杜拉拉升职记, which made her very popular in America, China, and internationally. When you grew up in New York, have you ever thought you would be like one of the most well-known stylists in America?
No, my profession is not a fortune teller.
Okay.
That's not what I do for a living. What I do for a living is I try to keep everything around me beautiful. Because when everything around me is beautiful, I am in the happiest mood. And the idea for me is to be happy, not unhappy. You know, the Chinese have a symbol for double happiness.
The 双喜.
And when I first saw that years ago and understood what it meant, I was taken by it because happiness is fantastic. But I never thought of double happiness. So I was like, wow, double happiness. We made dresses with the double happiness signs on them.
Wow.
Back in the 90s, yeah.
Wow.
Chinese-inspired fashion with double happiness in metallic letter symbols.
Raised in a Greek immigrant family in New York, Patricia Field has inspired women around the world with her unique style. As a costume designer for decades, Patricia says it's important to be open-minded to build personal style and international insight, which is key to her success. And I know you go to different countries to pick the items in the store.
We shop all over the world. Wherever we find ourselves, if there's shopping, we are shopping.
Okay, great. So I think it's really exciting is when people come here, they can almost feel like in a movie set. You know, they can see pieces that you can see those in the Chinese or American movies, and also each look on the rack, they represent some different style.
You know, of course, Sex and the City and all those things I did is about the dress and the whole costume, but that's fantasy.
Yeah.
And I love fantasy because it elevates your dreams or whatever.
Yeah.
But reality, I was looking at women lately with one thing in mind. Every woman I see is wearing pants. Women only wear dresses to dress up.
Right.
A dress is no longer the way women dress.
So
even though I was, you know, the dress queen, but that was fantasy. And I believe that Chinese people, women always wore those pants, those pajama pants.
Okay.
Traditionally, they wore pants. If you went on the streets in Shanghai now, or you were on the streets in Shanghai 70 years ago, what were the Chinese women wearing?
70 years ago?
Yeah.
A lot of them wear pants. Yeah.
But 70 years ago, America was not wearing pants. They were wearing dresses. So we took that.
Okay.
We took that from the East, the pants. And we added our kind of pants, the jeans.
Right.
If you go on the street of New York if you see 100 women, you're going to see 5 in dresses.
Right, right. Most of them.
Women wear pants today. That's it.
That's interesting.
It's modern.
Right.
And we're all in one wavelength together,
Right.
each bringing our own cultural experiences to the mix.
Right, right.
In the end, hello.
Yeah, it's all mixed, like connected. A lot of people called in this country called silent Asian. You know, when you see they're in like maybe restaurant or a lot of those areas, they work really hard and they scientists and finance guys, but you don't see them, a lot of them, like speak up, like those type. And in a way, I think through Patricia Field and through your style is quite opposite, very expressive, very like sometimes outrageous.
Yes.
So how do you see those two, connected? Why you have so many like Asian like clients? Mm-hmm.
It is simply self-expression. Mm. You're expressing yourself. You're not seeing your audience and going, can I make them laugh? Can I shock them? Can I make them love me?
Mm. But more like just express yourself, like the real self.
Exactly.
Right. Patricia Field opened her fashion boutique near Chinatown, Manhattan in 1966. For more than 40 years, this downtown shop has become an international institution for fashionistas, celebrities, and tourists.
This last move that we did was I virtually gave my home to become part of my store. So when you walk into my store, you really walk into my life because this is where I lived and I didn't really change it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's an environment, it's an experience. It's not a box with racks and clothes. It's a philosophy. Mm. And I think that's what makes us known around the world.
Right.
Even that I'm outrageous, for example, and you say that the Chinese culture is much more reserved.
Right.
Well, what I hope is that when the Chinese person, the scientist or whoever that you described, who is reserved, experiences something like this, there will be some positive or at least curious response to what they are seeing, rather than say, oh, this is no good.
Yeah, right, right. So be open-minded.
Absolutely.
Right. However, this successful and stylish entrepreneur also had her hard times, such as almost going bankrupt in her 40s. In the beginning, when I was starting to do movies and TV, it was like 89, I think, that this happened. I was away from my business because I was in California, and I stayed there for about almost a year because I kept receiving other projects too. Right.
And I returned back to New York after about a year. And I went into my store, and it looked kind of empty, not so much merchandise, not so much clothing. And then I looked at my bills, and I had very high bills. And when I counted the value of my clothing, and I added up all my bills were 2.5 times
of
the value of my clothing. And I said, oh my God, I'm bankrupt.
So what are you gonna...
I called my accountant, and I said, Carl, I'm bankrupt. I have $100 worth of clothing, and I have $250 worth of bills, 2.5. He said, you're not bankrupt, just figure it out, you'll fix it.
That's it? Okay.
Yeah.
And then...
So I had to fix it, and I fixed it.
Besides being successful and stylish, what is Patricia Field's style advice? Let's take a look. know you and talk about you, we talk about fashion, sexy, really cool, and different artistic. And what do you think is really important for people who want to be like really standing out?
What's important for people who want to stand out is knowing your identity and showing your identity. That is what is important.
Okay.
You will only stand out if you show yourself for who you are. Because who you are is individual. There is no other like you. And if you know who you are and you show who you are, you will stand out.
Right, right.
Here, let's get that hat, Rabu, and give it to Lee. She's both, look, she's with her cerise in black.
Oh, okay, so people can find their Vogue from Patricia.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
It's the International Tribe of Vogue.
Okay, now I'm in the International Tribe of Vogue too.
That's right.
That's
Welcome.
cool. Thank you. Thank
Welcome
you.
to the tribe.
Thank you. And you have been in business for decades, and you made it a successful business in New York in an industry that's so competitive.
Yes.
So what do you think are the most important things for people, I think, not just like in fashion, but as entrepreneur? What does it take to succeed?
Succeed, it takes a few things. Number one, it takes a passion to succeed.
Right. You must love what you.
You must love what you do, and that's what you want to do.
Right.
You don't question it. You don't listen to people who tell you, oh, you will never be a success. You go sort of like a horse with the blinders.
Yeah.
They can't see here and there.
Yeah.
And you keep going in your path.
Right. Right.
That's one of the things that it takes to succeed. If you have that, then you can start to develop the skills that it takes to succeed.
Right.
Because you want it, so you will do anything to succeed. So you learn how to succeed.
Yeah.
You learn, for example, in the fashion, how to succeed. How do you succeed? You succeed by offering something unique that no one else offers.
Right. Right.
You succeed by watching closely and listening to your customers and knowing the market and knowing how to put that together because you are watching and you are interested
Right.
because you have that passion to succeed.
Right.
And along the way you learn the skills.
How to operate business
Yeah.
and all those things. Yeah.
If you really want to succeed, you must learn those things.
And
You can't succeed and go, I'm beautiful and I know fashion. I don't care about business.
no, that wouldn't work.
You know, it would be like having a meal, just fish, no vegetables all the time.
Right. Right.
Eventually, it's going to make you sick.
Right, right. You need take different skills, and also I think it's important to be persistent because there are always highs and lows in business. And
That's why your passion keeps you afloat.
right, keep you going through all
Yeah.
these difficult times.
It keeps
Yeah.
you on that surfboard when the big wave comes.
Right. Fashion is a way to express yourself. In Patricia Field's store, not only you can find those cool pieces, but also find a way to be happy. So next time when you're in New York, this is a place you should come. I'm Jinli in New York, and I'll see you next time at Jinli US.
What is it?
Okay. We sing a song here, and also those are we just have
Oh, yes,
one friend.
That's Booty. She's going to say hello to the people. Accountant. And I said, Carl, I'm bankrupt. I have $100 worth of